Hello, it's Mr. Logue. I have another maths lesson for you. Solving proportion of word problems again. Let's read the first problem. Amira took 1 hour and 50 minutes to bake first a sponge cake, then a butter cake, and then a brownie. The butter cake took twice as long to bake as the brownie. The brownie took 10 minutes more than the sponge cake. Is it possible to find the time it takes to bake a sponge cake? If you'd like to have a go at that question, pause the video now. In a moment I'm going to go through solving this problem using a bar model method. Pause now. Right, I'm going to swap to the visualizer so that we can solve this one together. Okay, so you should remember from the problem that we have 3 types of baked goods: the brownie, the sponge cake, and the butter cake. Now if we reread the problem, it says that the butter cake took twice as long to bake as the brownie. The butter cake took twice as long to bake as the brownie. So that means for every 1 the brownie has, the butter cake has 2. One for the brownie, 2 for the butter cake. The brownie took 10 minutes than the sponge cake. So the brownie took 10 minutes more than the sponge cake. That shows that the brownie took longer than the sponge cake. But, like before with our other calculations like this, we're going to show that that portion equals 10 minutes. We can see from the very beginning of the problem that Amira took 1 hour and 15 minutes to bake all 3 of the cakes. Often with these types of problems where we have hours and minutes, it's more helpful to convert them into one type of time measurement. I'm going to convert them into minutes. 1 hour is 60 minutes. Add the 50 minutes. Is 110 minutes. Now I'm going to add that 10 minutes. To make 120 minutes in total. Now as you can see, at the moment we have 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, and if we've added in that 10 minutes, which we'll take off at the end, this makes a 4th section. So we have 120 minutes divided by the 4 sections. 120 divided by 4. 4's into 1 we can't do, so we have the 1 next to the 2. 4's into 12, 3 times. 4's into 0, 0. That means in each of these parts, 30 minutes. And this is 30, subtract that 10, 20. So from this, we can see it took 30 minutes to bake the brownie, 60 minutes, or 1 hour, to bake the butter cake, and 20 minutes to bake that sponge cake. Question answered. On to the next question. I'm going to make this larger so you can see it well. Students at a camp took part in 3 activities. They started with a 5-minute briefing, and at some point, students took a 20-minute break, which is not counted in the activity times given below. Camp started at 10 o'clock. Camp ended at 3 o'clock. we can see that activity B was 3 times as much as activity A, and activity C was half as much time as activity B. We need to first calculate the time of the entire camp from start to finish. Then we need to work out the time for the 3 activities, A, B and C. If you'd like to try and solve that yourself now's the time to pause the video. I'm going to swap back to the visualizer. Pause the video now if you'd like to solve it alone. Okay. Let's swap back to the visualizer. Okay, so the first thing it wanted us to do was to work out the time of the camp. Well, the clock showed 10 in the morning as the start time, and it showed 3 o'clock as the finish time. From 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. That's 5 hours. As before, it's to convert the hours into minutes. How many minutes in 1 hour? 60. So 5 times 60. Well, 5 times 6 is 30. So 5 times 60 must be 300. 300 minutes. Let's draw out the bar model for each of the activities based on what we know. And as you'll be able to see, just close something down. As you'll be able to see from the PowerPoint, activities A and activity B are already drawn in because activity B is 3 times the length of activity A. Here's A, here's B, and here's C. Activity A and here's activity B, which is 3 times the length. And what do we know about activity C? It says activity C is half as much time as activity B. So half of 3 is 1.5. However, as before, to make our calculation a little bit simpler, we're going to pretend that's a full one and then subtract it off at the end. So 1 section, 2 section, 3 section, 4 section, 5 section. This makes 6 sections, as long as we remember to subtract that part off at the end when we know what goes in here. So 300 divided by 6. Sixes into 3 we can't do. 6s into 30. 5 times. 6s into 0, 0. So each of these is 50 minutes. Activity A lasted 50 minutes. Activity B lasted 3 lots of 50 minutes, which is 150 minutes, or 1 hour and 30 minutes. And activity C lasted 50 minutes and half of 50 minutes, which is 25. So activity C lasted 75 minutes, or 1 hour and 15 minutes. Here are some further questions for you to try. Have a read, pause the video, try and solve them using a bar model. I'm going to pop the answers up on the screen, including bar model methods, to solve them in a few moments. Pause the video now if you'd like to try them. Here come the answers. Hopefully you found this video useful. As always, if you have any questions about any of the calculations, please let me know. Bye for now.